Have you ever met a child who never asked for anything? Not toys, not attention, not comfort? Have you ever looked into a little girl's eyes and felt like she was the one studying you? Like she already understood something about the world that she shouldn't? This is the story of a child who did not lose her childhood in a single moment. She outgrew it quietly. Her name was Alina. She was 8 years old the first time she realized that adults break. It happened on a Tuesday. Her mother was sitting at the kitchen table, staring at nothing. The house was silent in that dangerous way, the kind of silence that feels like it's holding its breath. Alina stood in the doorway and watched. She didn't ask what was wrong. She already knew something was. Children like Alina learn early that emotions are weather, and in her house, storms came without warning. So she did what she always did. She poured a glass of water. She placed it gently in front of her mother. She said, "It's okay. I'll be good." She was 8, but 8 was old enough to understand that someone had to hold things together. No one sat her down and said, "You are responsible now." Responsibility simply filled the empty spaces in the house, and she stepped into it. Psychology calls it parentification, but Alina didn't know that word. She only knew that when her mother cried, she felt guilty. When her father left the room angry, she felt responsible. When the house was tense, she felt it in her chest before anyone spoke. So she became calm, calmer than a child should be. She stopped slamming doors, stopped crying loudly, stopped needing too much. Because every time she needed something, it seemed to cost someone else energy they didn't have. And she learned something dangerous. If she had no needs, she caused no problems. At school, teachers described her as mature. Other children described her as quiet. But maturity is not the same as safety. Alina never asked for help with homework. Even when she didn't understand, even when her head hurt. When someone said, "Are you okay?" she answered automatically, "I'm fine." She always said she was fine, because in her world, needing help meant becoming a burden, and she would rather struggle alone than feel like weight. Something strange happens to children who grow up too fast. Part of them becomes ancient. The other part stays frozen. Alina could comfort adults. She could sense when someone's tone shifted by half a degree. She could predict arguments before they began, but she didn't know how to play without looking over her shoulder. She didn't know how to rest without guilt creeping into her ribs. When the house was peaceful, she felt uneasy. Peace meant something bad was preparing to happen. So her body stayed alert, always. Her nervous system learned that calm was temporary, that safety was fragile, that love could disappear if she relaxed too much. Years passed. Alina grew taller, her voice deepened. Her responsibilities changed shape, but they never disappeared. As an adult, people admired her strength. She's so independent. She doesn't need anyone. She's so composed. They didn't see the exhaustion behind her eyes. They didn't see how uncomfortable she felt when someone tried to take care of her. The first time someone brought her soup when she was sick, she apologized 3 times. The first time someone said, "You don't have to handle everything alone," she laughed, not because it was funny, but because it felt impossible. If she wasn't strong, who would be? If she rested, who would prepare for what might go wrong? Strength had become her identity, and she was terrified of what would be left without it. There is a quiet grief that follows children who grow up too fast. It's the grief of moments that never existed. No careless afternoons, no safe dependence, no memory of being small without consequences. Alina sometimes looked at children playing in the park and felt something she couldn't name. It wasn't jealousy. It was something softer, something like mourning. She wasn't born strong. She became strong because there was no other option. Her nervous system adapted to pressure. Her heart learned to shrink its needs. Her mind learned that love must be earned through usefulness. And the most painful part? She didn't even realize she was carrying weight, because she had never known what it felt like to be without it. One evening, long after she had become an adult, someone said something that unsettled her. They said gently, "You're allowed to rest." The words did not comfort her. They confused her. Rest? Without earning it? Without proving she deserved it? The idea felt foreign, almost dangerous. And in that moment, she understood something she had never admitted before. She had survived childhood, but she had never lived it. If you grew up too fast, you might recognize her. You might be her. You might be the child who became the calm one, the responsible one, the strong one. You might still apologize for needing too much. You might still feel uneasy when life is quiet. You might still carry weight that was never yours. Psychology does not call you broken. It says your mind adapted to survive. But survival was never supposed to be your childhood, and strength was never supposed to replace softness. The little girl inside Alina never disappeared. She just learned to be silent. The question is, now that you're older, are you finally ready to let her speak?